Robinson.
I'm JeffGarnier.
And I'm AishaCornwall.
And we're here at the Little Town. Stay tuned. Hi, it's Rihanna and
Kalecia.
Okay. So Kalecia, what is a student counselor? What do you think a student counselor is?
A student counselor is a person who represents the student body and ensure that they fight for the student right at the school. That's all I know about.
So what is your stance on students being locked out of schools?
It's rubbish, first of all. It's rubbish because I feel that you are stopping that child or the students, pupils in general, from their education and learning for what they should be learning at school. And it's a waste of time and waste of money also.
Alright. So what do you recommend that administrators do instead of locking students out of school?
Give them like after school work, punishment to do, detentions, something to do.
Alright, thank you so much.
Alright, so JeffGarnier here, and this is
Taswin Davis.
So the question I'm asking you is, what do you think is student council or NSSC in general?
Alright, so for me, NSSC is a student-led organization that's all about protecting students as in their rights while in high school. So the NSSC on a whole advocates for students' rights. So it's where the NSSC doesn't allow administrators to take advantage of students. So we protect students' best interests at heart.
And secondly, what do you think about the issue that's happening now about students being locked out of school?
For one, students are not supposed to be locked out of school. If there are issues where students are having problems being disciplined, there are so many ways in which we can get students to behave themselves and cooperate with rules. Locking students outside of school, for one, is denying students their right to an education, and that is unfair to students of Jamaica, which should not happen.
And we've all heard the issues, so what are some of the solutions you think the government can employ about this issue?
Alright, so for one, being a member of the National Secondary Students Council, for one, we recommend that for one, students can do community service. So we can, the ministry also could let the schools know that it's against the regulation to lock students outside of school. Right, there's so many ways. As I said, you can do community service, you can have detention. There are so many different ways that you can have students become aware of what they're doing, which is wrong, and allow them to become disciplined. So that's what I believe.
Alright, thank you much.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, so my name is AishaCornwall and I'm the Region 1 PRO from the NSSC. I'm here with
Triana Wilkins.
So we just want to ask you a few questions. So we wanted to know, what do you think Students' Council is on a whole?
Okay, essentially I think that Student Council is just a body that advocates for the interests of students in the school environment. A lot of times our interest is placed in the hands of the administration, who blindly kind of leads us in how they think that we want things to be done. So the Student Council basically gives us a voice.
In addition to that, what do you think the NSSC is? And do you know what NSSC is?
Okay, to my understanding, NSSC is the National Secondary Student Council. I think that it is the body that oversees the actions of the regional student council bodies.
So you have heard about students being locked out of school in the different high schools across the island in Jamaica. What do you think about the issue on a whole, and what are some of the solutions that you have for it? First of all, do you agree with students being locked out of school?
Okay, I am totally against students being locked out of school because it goes against our rights of the child. And I'm from a school where we actually are locked out for being late, for coming at school after 8:30. I believe that it's a bit drastic. You understand? I believe that there are other ways you can deal with students being late. For example, let's say we institute that if you're late for school, you get something like a demerit. Less students will be late because they understand that there's a higher penalty, and even so, they're not deprived of their education. So it's good on both sides.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so today we're here with
Jeffrey and Henry.
And the first question on the floor is, what do you think is Student Council? What is National Secondary Student Council to you?
Basically, in simple terms, to sum it up, I think a student council is basically an advocate for the students.
And because of this advocacy, what do you think about the prevalent issue right now in Jamaica about students being locked out of school?
Alright, at first I was totally against it, but when I was looking at my school, I was like, them really need to lock them out.
What?
Because like meds, I can use patois?
Sure.
Meds and the people them were always late is the same set of persons. Like them always late, and the persons who are late them living near. Lock them out.
And because of this alternative, you're disagreeing about this locked out issue. What are some of your solutions to this issue?
Debating on Literacy Society, we're having a debate about it, and a point was brought forth that last year when the lockout system wasn't in place, a lot of persons were late to school, coming 10 o'clock, after 10, like about 200 to 300 students. Check the stats if you don't believe me. Now when the system is in place, it's around 40, 50, so I believe that it is working, and I think that you should keep on locking them out until them know, say, yo, come school early, because you have to train them from now, say, because them are go to the working world, them are go work. If them are come work late continuously, them are get fired, so them need to know, say, school is important and they need to prioritize it and come to school early.
Alright, thank you much.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Alia. What is your name?
My name is Dazan.
Okay, what is a student councillor to you in your opinion?
Basically, a student councillor is someone within the school body that represents students' rights, how they are feeling, and wishes to express it to higher authority.
Okay, do you know what is the NSSC?
Yes, I do. It is the governing body for the student councils in Jamaica, so it represents the whole body. It's, the abbreviation means National Secondary Student Council. That's what I believe, yes.
Right. What is your solutions what is your view of students being locked out of school?
I don't think that students should be locked out of school because that takes away their right to learn. And we do have a right to learn as youths, and that's very important because without education, the future of this country, they can't move on, they can't progress. And without education, there's a lot of things that will go wrong in the country. So locking students out of school basically takes away that right to education and for furthering the nation. A solution that I think will be very useful in correcting this is that instead of locking them out, you can still take them in, contact the parents, or set up a system that actually goes into the communities and actually picks up the students for school. So you tell them, listen, be ready by a certain time, we are coming into your community and we're going to pick you up and bring you to school.
It's Rihanna again and
Tajini.
Okay, Tajini. So what is a student councillor?
In my opinion, a student's councillor is someone who represents the students and their affairs.
All right. So are you familiar with the NSSC?
Yeah, the NSSC is the National Students Secondary Council. National Secondary Students Council.
All right. Good enough. Okay, so what is your stance on students being locked out of schools as punishment?
Well, I don't think that you should use locking kids out of school as punishment because that's depriving them of their education and you're not really rectifying the situation. You're not correcting whatever they actually did. You're just locking them out of school.
All right. What are some recommendations that you give administrators to implement in their schools rather than locking students out?
Well, instead of locking students out, they could implement programs, as in behavioral programs if behavior is the issue, or just any program related to whatever issue the student has. And I think that's a better way of fixing whatever the problem is.
All right. Thank you so much, Tajini.